Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a few program updates for you. The first update I have is from the Self-Employed program. This was released on April 29th this year, so just a week ago. But first, I should introduce the Self-Employed program. What is it? The Self-Employed program is for a very specific set of individuals who want to start a business in Canada. Their background must be related to either athletics or cultural activities. Cultural activities seems kind of vague. It includes things like artists, musicians, film directors, but also occupations you may not think are cultural, such as translators. In athletics, this can include both athletes and coaches. The purpose of the program is to bring cultural and athletic occupations from around the world into Canada through an applicant's self-employment. So as a practical example, say you have a badminton player from outside of Canada, they're from another country, and they're at the top of their level in their home country. They want to come to Canada and coach badminton to Canadians. That could be a good opportunity for them to start a coaching business in Canada. Now, on to the updates. Actually, this update is not good news for applicants of this program. So traditionally, the program has had a long processing time, about 4 years, 48 months. But now it's creeped up little by little and it's at 51 months right now. So as of about 1 week ago, the Minister of Immigration actually suspended all new applications for this program. So while this is not permanent, this suspension is in place for now so that IRCC can take care of this backlog. Now, the next update I have is for the Parent and Grandparent Sponsorship Program. This program is very important for some of you who are waiting to apply to sponsor your parents or grandparents. This is a minor update, but it is still important to understand how the process works for being invited and applying. This news was released very recently, a few days ago on May 3rd. So starting later this month, on May 21st, IRCC will invite 35,700 candidates who had created an expression of interest, an EOI, in the year 2020. That means the system is the same as it has been for the last 4 years. IRCC is only inviting people who created an expression of interest in 2020, and not any further new expressions of interest will be accepted. It's important to note, though, that of these 35,000 applications, IRCC will only process just over 20,000 complete applications. So, starting May 21st, if you are invited to apply to sponsor your parents or grandparents, you have to make sure that you prepare and submit a complete application in a timely manner. Apart from this update for the Parent Sponsorship Program, there's currently no news about what the future will look like. It's remained the same for the last 4 years. In 2020, many thousands of expressions of interest were submitted, and since then, IRCC has only accepted little by little applications from that cohort from 2020 and has not created any new system to accept new expressions of interest. This may change in the future, but for now, there's no update or no news about that. Now, the last update we have today was actually just released today, a few hours ago, on May 7th. This concerns the Hong Kong Permanent Residence Pathways Stream A and B, or rather, there's a new public policy for a work permit related to this program. So first, what is the Hong Kong Stream A and Stream B pathway? This is classed as a humanitarian type of permanent residence application. But it includes some elements of economic programs, such as requiring a certain amount of work experience in Canada or a certain level of education done recently. So what's the update then? Starting May 27th, later this month, IRCC will introduce a new pathway, a temporary pathway, to allow applicants for the Hong Kong Stream A or B pathways to apply to extend their status inside Canada with an open work permit. So this is a work permit temporary public policy program related to the existing permanent residence program. Now, if you've seen this update yourself on the IRCC website, you may notice something interesting. This new public policy will be in place for 5 years. Now, it's currently May 2024. The PR pathway for Hong Kong citizens expires in August 2026. That's just over 2 years from now. So, why is this temporary public policy for an open work permit valid for 5 years when the PR pathway closes in 2 years? We may be reading too much into this, but we could guess one of two things are happening. One is that IRCC expects the processing time for the PR applications being received for the Hong Kong pathways to take longer to process. Or it's possible IRCC plans to extend the PR applications for Hong Kong Stream A and B beyond 2026. It could also be a combination of both, or neither of those things. We don't know. But I thought it was worth mentioning that because this work permit policy is valid for 5 years, when the PR policy itself is only valid until August 2026, there's a space of about 3 years that don't align. So, how to be eligible for this work permit? This isn't open for anyone. In fact, it's only open for a very specific set of individuals. To be eligible, you need to have already applied for the Hong Kong Stream A or Stream B pathway. This means that if you're still working in Canada, building up work experience for Stream B, you're not yet eligible for this type of work permit. You must have already submitted your application. The second requirement is to have held a work permit within the last 3 years. So if you never held a work permit in Canada, you also cannot be eligible for this. So it's a very particular public policy that applies to only a certain number of individuals, but it can help those individuals to stay in Canada while their PR application is processing. I hope you found these program updates useful, and I'll talk to you again later. Thank you.